So I'm going to record this. All right, welcome back, everyone. And it's good to have you here again. So, in today's live session, we are going to be looking at the assignment that was shared with us yesterday, and we're going to take it a little bit further, see what we can get from there, and of course, see how things can get advanced. Okay, so in the last session, I think we talked about the use of nested if to actually achieve some of the given tasks. And today, we take it a little bit advanced, looking at how we can deal with complex situations in terms of when there are complex logical expression that's based on these conditions that are given for these complex conditions. You want to be able to do some calculation on the fly to be able to produce different results for different scenarios. Okay, so I think this exercise is more like that. So I'm currently looking at an assignment that's been done by one of our students. Okay, in XYZ commodities at a particular store, and of course, the duration which the customers have been patronizing the particular vendor, and the products names are listed with their categories, and of course, each unit price representing the product and the other quantity. So we just want to be able to give our customer shipping discounts, and the criteria for such is not a single criteria. A single criteria could be if the age of the customer is 40 or above, you want to be able to do XYZ things. So we have a kind of a complex situation or criteria that we want to put together to be able to um, confirm the validity of customers that would actually be benefiting from these discounts, shipping discounts. So these are the conditions, right? Let's say the customer has to be must have been buying or patronizing be between the between 4 months and above. I mean, if the customer has been patronizing 4 months and above, and of course, not just that, if what the customer is buying is if the quantity of what the customer is buying is 10 or more, I mean, then if the customer is buying 10 items of a particular product or more, you want to also consider that customers as being beneficiary to this discounted shipping cost. And of course, also, so if all these conditions are actually satisfied, you want to be able to give the customer 30% discount of the shipping charges, and the fixed shipping charge is actually $20. All right, so these are the conditions, and I guess they are cleared. Um, so I like us to do like a split. Look at the conditions one after the other. The first one says that if the customer has been patronizing for more let's introduce a column here. This is just for the sake of clarity. Month of patronage. Let's call this month of patronage. No, I think we already have something like that. Customer category months. So I think I would like to call it eligibility by months of patronage. Eligibility of eligibility by month of patronage. Okay, so this is it. Now we say if it is 4 or 8 months now. So I if it is 4 or 8 months now, emphasis is on 4 or 8. If we are to be using the and as a conjunction, it won't really work. It won't really work. Let's see that. Let's see. If we're using and, right? And the logic is found on this column, right? This the value here is either um 4 months, and of course it has to be written exactly the way we have it on this column, the customer category. Then 4 months, then comma, the other one is 8 months, right? So I'm going to open up the string quotation, then 8 months, right? This is just to confirm the validity by month. So if I do this now, of course, so this is 2. Let me just click all the way down. Mm. Now, okay, so for let's look at all the truths. Let's filter by true. Okay, I think this is what I'm saying. So you could see that it's bringing true for all the 4 months, but you know, we see that we have 8 months in the data set, but it's only showing true for 4 months. So what it has done is that in our in our logic, the first one that is true, it just works, it just picks it and just work with it while ignoring this other one, right? So like I said, the ideal conjunction to use here is to use or, not and. So to use or. So the ideal conjunction to use is or, right? Or. This is the ideal conjunction to use, or. Now, I haven't done that for the fourth record. We can just double click. Um, don't know. Has anything changed? Okay. Uh, let's filter again to see all the truths. Uh, okay. Probably. Um, okay. I guess I see where the mistake is, right? So I did not say B2 is equals to so this is it. And let me of course take this back to and so that we are clear. Oh, okay. So for hand, everything evaluates to be false. Everything evaluates to be false. So obviously hand is not your conjunction to use. You would rather want to use or. You rather want to use or. Then I won't modify the first record. You can double click, right? So let's look at the all the truths. So all the truths now is a combination of 4 and 8. All the truths is actually a combination of 4 and 8. Now, I was just thinking now why trying to do this. Um what if here we just have numbers and the month is taken out. We just have numbers that shows the number of months that the customer has been patronizing. Let me do this Control H, and let me just take out the months and replace it with blank. So let's do replace all, right? So you can see that the text has actually moved. It was actually aligned to the left side now. Now it's aligned to the right side, showing that it's actually number, showing that it's number. And of course, with these changes that I just did, this has changed. Okay, now this is the number. How do we do this now? If you want to do the eligibility, how do we do it? So if you want to do it now, it's going to be the value here, right? Okay, I think we said we want to use the or, right? Or so the value here is So is equal to 4, yeah, comma, the value here is equals to 8. Sorry. So you see that I did not put the string there, unlike what I did for text, where I put the opening quotation and closing, because this is the numeric. I don't need to do that, right? I don't need to do that. Mm. Okay, so let us see all the truth. Okay, so I have 4 and 8. Now, I want to intentionally introduce 6 here and probably 7 here, right? If I introduce 6 and 7, and if I come back to this, I mean, so based on what I did here, something must have changed. So if I should go out to the false, let me see the false now. So, first, we say the criteria is that the customer would have been more than 4 months, right? The customer must have been patronizing the store for more than 4 months. Now, you can see that we have for false now, eligibility by months. For false, we are seeing 7, 6. You see that what we actually did would not work. What we actually did would not work. Another thing that would have actually made it to work is that if we had just say this is equals to or greater than 4, sorry, is greater than or equals to 4. Since this is numeric, unlike that test that we had, so that test is actually how do I put it now? It's actually finite, like it's something that is it's not um continuous, like continuous like numbers. It's not like continuous like numbers. It's something that is that you know that it is either this or this. Like it is either 4 months or 8 months. We can't have 6 months. So if we're having 6 months, it will make it a little bit complicated for us. That is also using the or, right? B2 is equals to 4 months, 6 months, 7 months. We'll have to actually specify the 4 months, 6 months with the or conjunction. But for this, that is numeric. When we say that 4 months or above, it's very easy to specify in our logic. It's actually very easy to specify in our logic. So the way to actually capture it is say when it is greater than or equals to 4, shikina. And so we really do not need the or set. We really do not need the or, right? So if we do this and we press our enter, you will see that it will actually factor in everything for and above inclusive. You see, we have 4, 6, 7, 8. So the exercise that I gave was in actually string, where you have to specify the string exact value the way it is in your own logical expression. But if it were to be a number like this, I guess it makes the work easier and because yeah, it's more like a continuous where you just put greater than or equals to. So there is a range of numbers that is already captured, unlike something that is definite when it is string. Okay, so I don't want to tweak it. Let us return back to where we're coming from. Um, Okay, so we were coming from here, right? So because we have something that is definite, right? So if we're having 6, 7, you understand? So you have to specify the exact value just as it is here. But if it is just for numbers, you can just use the regular um number range, equality sign, greater than or equals to, and all those stuff to capture the logic. So I think that is clear. So for eligibility by month, let's see all the truths again to be sure that these guys are really eligible. All right, so we have 4 and 8. Okay, so another thing that we want to do is they say when the quantity is actually greater than or equals to 10. So we're going to do equals to, right? Pick up the quantity side and equals to or greater than, then we can type 10. So this is us actually picking the conditions one after the other. We are picking the conditions one after the other and trying to dissect it now, if I'm allowed to use that word. Now, so let us look at that condition again. They say customer um has been patronizing for 4 months, or I think it's eight, for 4 months or more. 4 months, four 4 months or more, yeah. So this column captures that 4 months or more. And so there is and other quantity is greater than 10. So other quantity is greater than 10. So I now introduce another column that says eligibility. Now note that we have not started calculating the discount. That is actually where we're going to now. We just want to be sure whether the customer is actually eligible or not. All right, so for the eligibility, this is the first condition. Customer patronize us for 4 months or above. This is the first one. And right, so since we're emphasizing on the both conditions has to be met, that the customer has been patronizing us for 4 months and more, and the quantity order is equals to more than 10. So to actually now check for the validity, we do this. So this is the first logical evaluation that we have the outputs, and this is also the second one, right? This is the second one. So we can now do this. Obviously, the first customer is not eligible. If we now focus on the true to see customers are eligible, you would see that these records, 5 records, shows that the customer order quantity is greater than or equals to 10. And of course, the customers has been patronizing the store for 4 months and 8 months, or 4 months, yeah, and 8 months. So these are the guys that would actually be benefiting from the discount. Now, another thing that we want to do is that based on this eligibility, now that we have the results, we want to be able to calculate the shipment charges for each of those customers. Now, you can see that we're actually doing something that looks like a data manipulation. Trying to get the conditions. Sometimes you could have several rows of information, and you want to be able to do some logic for each of the records. So you want to be able to, for different conditions, you want to be able to um, bring out different outputs. Yeah, for the same data set, you want to be able to bring out same outputs while looping through the rows and making sure that those conditions are met. So there are sometimes when you'll be given like millions of data and you'll be given criteria. Okay, so based on this, if this customer is from Abuja and this X, Y, Z, and this should be the output. For the same data set, if this customer is a male and blah 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 blah, you understand. So I think something like a customer segmentation. So you could actually use something like this if you are giving different conditions for different outputs, and you are given the same data set. Exactly, this is the way to deal with it. All right, so to calculate the discounts. And of course, the discount is just basically multiplying this 20% by 0.03. That is the calculation that we want to do. So what we can now do is if, right? We're going to be using the if statement, right? So we're going to say if true now, if this guy. So this is the eligibility now. And of course, this is already the output of the logical test that we have based on measuring this eligibility by month and this quantity of by orders to be equals to or greater than 10. So this is the output now. And now this becomes our logical test. So what do we want to return if it is true? If it is true, we basically want to multiply 20, we are picking the value here, multiplying it by 0.3. So 0.3 is 30%. Now, another thing that I would have to mention here is that when I clicked in here, I picked the value, sorry. So when I clicked in here, I am meant to pick the value 20, which is what it's supposed to do. Okay, which is what it's supposed to do. So otherwise, I want to say if it is false, that means if the customer is not eligible, you just want to bring in the value here. So I think the bracket is already closed, so I can now click on something here. All right, so since this is false, the customer is not eligible, so I will have to double click this all the way down. Okay, now there is something that I actually need to mention here. So when I click on this, you can see that N7, N7 and N7, because I picked the value from here, it's returns 20 for the first record. Now, when I double click this button down, what it's doing is that if I click on the next value, you can see that the next value that is picking, instead of picking what is inside the cell N7, it has actually moved to N8 and N8. If I click the next one, of course, N9, N9. So um, we have to make sure that we fix this value so that when we double click all the way down, the value is fixed and doesn't, change the selection or the position. Or you understand? So for us to do that, I know there is a shortcut to do that. Um, for now, I think I can't really remember. I think something like a shift, maybe shift tab or something. But I do know that there is a sign that looks like a dollar that it has to be before the letter and before the number, right? Before the number and before the letter to make sure that this is fixed, even if we double click all the way down. All right. So also do it for this also, right? And let me click on enter. Now that we have done this for this first row, if I double click all the way there now, you will see that if I click this value here, the number is fixed, the cell position is fixed, it doesn't change to N8 or as we move down the record, it doesn't change the position where it's picking the value. All right, so this is the output that we are asked to calculate. And if you are an advanced Excel user, right, you can actually write everything on the fly. And that is exactly what we're about to do now. Okay, so don't forget that based on this eligibility condition, we can actually calculate the distance. Sorry, the discount. And it is not just us calculating. Sometimes it will come with a scenario where we are asked to look for the sum of a value or calculate an aggregation based on some conditions. So I think we'll see how that works after this. All right, so we want to write this now as an advanced Excel user. Okay, so to do that, we know that the big function that is outside of this statement would be if, right? And what's our logical test? Don't forget our logical test is actually a complex one, right? It's actually a complex one. And we would start with and, right? So and is the one that combines the eligibility by months and when the quantity being ordered is 10 or more, right? So for this eligibility by months, right? Don't forget that that one also comes with its own conjunction or, right? The eligibility by months comes with its own conjunction, which is or. So um, that is if this value here is equals to what's it now? 4 months, right? We have remember we have to type it exactly the way it is. 4 months and comma or this same value here is 8 months, right? 8 months. Okay, so that is the one for the or. We have logic inside another logic. So this is the logic for the month eligibility, right? And this would return true or false. I mean, based on what we have seen in this column I, right? So for this or, I can actually close the bracket. So this closing bracket closes the or opening bracket, right? So don't forget, I can actually continue writing the function in this function tab or text box. So I'll have to put in a comma. So when I put in a comma, don't forget that everything that I have here, where this all start from, is actually the first logic, which is logical one. You can see it highlighted here. Now, after my comma comes the next logic, right? The next logic is saying the value here is greater than or equals to 10, right? So this is the second logic, and of course this logic for or. And so after introducing the comma, so I'm saying and this logic after evaluating it using the and logic, which we were introduced to yesterday, we can see what the expected outcome would be. And if I actually take out this now, let me take out the if. Let me take out the if. Right, let me take out the if. This closing bracket closes it closes this and logic already. So let us press enter. Let's press oops. Oh, there is a typo. Okay, do you want to accept the correction? We found a typo in your formula. No, I want to be able to see where the typo is and correct it myself. Okay, let me take this a little bit backward. Okay, so let me introduce my comma. So my comma here, have we closed? Oh, okay. Oh, see what has happened. So there's supposed to be a closing quotation that I did not put here. All right, so close it. So after closing it, you can see that this is a red closing bracket, and of course, this is another red closing bracket. So automatically, this has closed the OR logic, right? So now for the quantity of that, which is this greater than or equals to, greater than or equals to what value is that again? 20, is it 20 or 10? Is it 10? Sorry, is it 10 or 20? I think it's 10. Oh, we can actually correct that. Okay, so it's 10. And so since this black closing brackets closes this OR logic, I can press enter, right? So if I double click all the way down, this would actually return the same thing that I have for eligibility. This returns the same thing. If we look at them side by side, they have the same output. Now, we are not done. What we want to basically get to is where we have this discounted amount calculated. Okay, so while I'm still here, I can just use my if function, right? And everything, don't forget everything here evaluates to be my single logic, although it's a complex one. So I can use the if, right? I can use the big if guy. And since all these are my logic, so if these are actually true, we want to pick the value 20, this value 20. I think shift. Okay, so we have to freeze that. Again, I think I'll just type it in the chat box, the button to click to have this dollar sign shown before and after the numbers and letters. Okay, so this multiply by 0.3, 0.3, right? If everything here in this logic evaluates to be true, otherwise I will just work with this alone. Let me just copy this. Okay. All right. So let me close this and I have this. Okay. So let's click all the way down. Cool. All right. So I've taken the time to explain how this eligibility works out, and it's actually very interesting. So let us look at another scenario here. What if we are asked to do something different and instead of just calculating the discounts, probably we are asked to sum up or we are asked to, you know, do something a little bit interesting, which I'm trying to um, bring up in my head. Let's say if these logics are true, let's say you are basically asked to calculate the value. I mean, for where this logic are true, right? Calculate the value of commodity purchased, right? Calculate the value of commodity purchased. Otherwise, I mean, do not calculate the value. Okay, so um, I could copy, I could copy, I could copy this, copy, right? And let's just introduce, no, I don't want to, okay. Whatever I want to introduce, let it be here. I don't want it to mess up with our formula. Okay, so I've copied that, let's say, some other calculation. Okay, so based on the eligibility, right? Um, what do we want to do? Basically, okay, so based on the eligibility also, you want to be able to give discounts to whatever the customer has bought. Now, I would, I don't want to introduce another column. Okay, so to actually know the value of what the customer has bought, you basically have to calculate, you basically have to multiply the unit price with the other quantity, right? To know the value of what the customer has bought, you basically have to multiply the unit price with the other quantity. Now, for the customers that are actually eligible for this shipping discount based on this criteria that we are already involved or we already know, we want to give them discounts for whatever they buy also. Discount of maybe 50%. We want to give them 50% discount. Okay, so how do we do that? How do we do that? We want